Gehenna. Gehenna. Gehenna is a garbage dump just outside the walls of Jerusalem. Refuse fires burn there day and night, kind of like our tire fires do in this country. Gehenna came to represent life's garbage dump, a sort of sewage pit for the soul. We have a choice. You and I can choose to live in the sewage pit or in the teeming city. These graphic descriptions here of cutting off, of maiming, say that this stuff needs to really matter. It needs to really matter. This is pretty strong rhetoric you just heard proclaimed from this pulpit. And it's not literal. One of the early fathers of the church, his name was Origen. His story says that he took this passage literally and castrated himself. For that reason alone, we refuse to canonize him. That's true. But this is a figurative way of saying in strong language that we are trying to express here a deep passion that cannot be qualified in any way. It only can be embraced. And the passion is this: to enter life. The passion is to enter life. And what Jesus is addressing here is what is keeping human beings from entering life. And it is so, so important, because the opposite of this is Gehenna, a sewage pit for the soul, a sort of spiritual suicide. And what Jesus is saying is there are real things in our lives, real things that are keeping us from entering into life. If your foot causes you to sin, cut it off. Cut it off. Look for just a moment at your foot, would you? That foot you're looking at is a metaphor here for where we are going in life and how we're going to get there. Your foot is about your goals in life and the path you walk. Are we running away, or are we running toward? Are we leading the pack, or are we following the pack? Am I stumbling because I'm not paying attention in life? Am I up on one foot and moving? We all know how important moving is, getting up on our feet and moving is to our physical health. But are we moving in our spiritual life at all? Do I step on people to get to the top? That's what James was talking about in the second reading. Am I lost and going the wrong way? If your hand causes you to sin, cut it off. Look for a moment at just one of your hands. That hand you're looking at is a metaphor for action. Do I lend this hand when somebody needs it? Do I use that hand to push away from people so I don't have to get close and deal with the messiness of intimacy in my life? Is my fist clenched around something or someone, holding them too tightly? Or is my fist clenched in rage, ready to do violence to another? Do I join hands with people as I make my way to my goals or not? Do I refuse to recognize the power of touch? If your eye causes you to sin, pluck it out. Now, think about one of those two eyes of yours. That eye you're thinking about is a metaphor for seeing, for understanding, for the idea. Do I close my eyes to suffering inside of me or in this world, and to the poor? Again, that's what James was talking about in that second reading. Do I close my eyes tightly shut so I don't have to see? Do I look over the shoulder of the person I'm talking to because I'd really rather be talking to someone else in the room than this human being? Do I lose my focus in life? Who is it? What is it that makes me roll my eyes when they talk or when I read what they write? Who do I refuse to look at? Avoiding eye contact, especially my partner in life when I'm mad at them, even my kids. Am I wearing blinders so that I only see what I want to see? Do I only see the surface of things? And if I become so judgmental about that, Jesus says, it is better to spend the rest of your life here on this earth with one foot, one eye, and one hand than to have both and be in a living hell. Those unquenchable fires. My friends, this is about staying alive. There are actions and ideas and goals that have to be let go of so we can be free to enter into life. This is so, so important, to being able to enter into life. So, so important. That's why this language is so strong. This language about cutting out and maiming, staying alive or shriveling up and dying. This is how to stay alive while we're still alive. How to stay alive while we're still alive. It is the difference that our own T.S. Eliot described when he wrote of living and partly living. Living and partly living. Staying alive is everybody's problem. And sometimes we have to let go of the life I'm living for a deeper life. So lose that eye, lose that hand, lose that foot, and discover a deeper, broader life than you've ever known. A while back, I discovered a passage by a writer named Donald Evans. And when I read it, I imagined that this is what Jesus wants for us. And I hear that even more clearly in the light of these readings. He writes, participation in life's energies feels like sailing, or white water canoeing, or body surfing, or gliding. During a day of open participation, it is as if wild waves of water or wind invade and invigorate and impel us in all that we do and think and feel. Alert and sensitive to the broad ebb and flow of forces that surround us, in tune with the elements, we steer a course of our own, empowered by forces beyond ourselves. We enthusiastically expend and expand ourselves, receptively relaxed and actively involved, eagerly taking in and exuberantly giving out. We rejoice in life. We rejoice in life. That's what Jesus wants. That we be able to rejoice in life. So cut it out, he says. Cut it out right now. And live. What will it be for you? In the end, it's a choice between the garbage dump or the teeming city. Between life or spiritual suicide.